artist wrote Utopia, so this is going to be a great book to read.
You! My name is Peter Giles, and I am a real friend of Moore. Yes. In this story, I am an acquaintance of Raphael Heathliday. I go with Moore to dinner with Heathliday so that we can hear about Heathliday's grand adventures in Utopia.
I'm Cardinal John Morton.
Go, say it. Go.
I was the actual Chancellor to Henry VIII. In the story, I spent quite a large amount of time. Don't laugh, guys.
Just say.
Discussing societal problems in England with Heathliday and Moore. In real life, I was instrumental in furthering Sir Thomas More's education at Oxford.
I'm Raphael Heathliday. I was a philosopher and a world traveler in a utopia. I spent 5 years in a utopia before returning to Europe to spread the word about the utopia's ideal society. I talked to Moore and Giles about my travels in Utopia. I will let Moore take over from here and tell you about what I observed. In fact, he has great opinions about the ideas England should adopt.
Thank you. Thank you.
Should we take our hand out?
Well, it all started when I went to Antwerp as an ambassador for England and King Henry VIII. I spent time conversing about intellectual matters with my dear friend Peter Giles. Peter?
Yes.
Hi. One day I saw Peter speaking to a man I found out to be Raphael Heathliday. Hello. Okay. He invites us to supper to discuss his travels in a land called Utopia.
Just to let you know, I'm a renowned traveler and I have been to the New World, south of the equator, through Asia and eventually Utopia, but noted explorer Amerigo Vespucci.
Thanks for interrupting. Okay, anyways. Raphael describes how Utopia is almost completely different from England and even Europe altogether. Their land is different in the ways that Utopia is an island surrounded by water. The strange thing is, there are sharp rocks at the bottom of the water, and only Utopia knows the location of the rocks so that invaders would die before reaching Utopia. They have resources on all sides of the island, so they rarely have to think about running out of anything. I also had a hard time with England's law that criminals would be executed when caught. I was astounded to find that Utopian offenders are simply put to work as slaves, and they end up helping the community by doing services. They also are forced to wear pure gold shackles. Yes. This I was also shocked to hear. As it turns out, Utopia doesn't value money or gold or anything like that. Children and slaves are the only beings that wear gold because it isn't thought highly of. When it comes to fashion, since they don't value gems or gold, they all end up wearing the same style of clothing all year. That's generally Utopia.
Yeah, I'm actually General Utopus, not Peter Giles. My clothes would be appropriate for all kinds of weather and will hold up in extreme heat and extreme cold.
Thank you. They don't necessarily have a king, but they have a leader named General Utopus. He is not a king because he isn't treated like royalty, yet he is a huge part of the Utopian society.
I was an ancient warrior and the founder of Utopia. I conquered savages who once lived on the isthmus of Utopia, now occupied. I then set my army and new subjects to work on making Utopia an island.
Thank you. On another note, religion is also a big part of society without somehow corrupting it. They accept all types of religions and each person is allowed to believe what they want. In my society, religion is a huge part in corruption as well as land and war. Utopians don't believe in any type of war unless they are absolutely forced. When it comes to land, Utopians own the same amount of it and it all looks completely the same. Their ways of schooling are similar in that the Utopian children all do the same amount of schooling. The only exception is that the children who are gifted get to go on to more schooling, yet this is few and far between. If I could possibly summarize Utopia, it is a place based on rational thought, great productivity, no love of riches, especially No class distinctions, little crime, religious tolerance, little inclination to war, no worries of poverty, no private property, concerns about the public welfare, and a place where people live well. I believe that although these ideas work in utopia, England is so corrupt that many of these ideas would fail quickly. I firmly believe that the only way to a perfect society is Christianity and the coming of Christ. I wrote this book to portray my feelings of the corruption of England.
Take a ball puppet.
I know I never used that.
Are you supposed to